Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
The Toronto Gators taking on the New York Gremlins. And Joe, when we talk about these two teams, they come in ranked 2 and 3 respectively. They've played before, but this is going to be a battle of two heavyweights.
Well, of all the games that played before, this one is the one that really means the whole marbles for the summer. Yes, these teams have met earlier in the summer, but you work to the championship game or trying to get to that championship game. And so this is going to be the showdown between 2 and 3.
So when we talk about these two teams, a lot of veterans. These two teams have had the core in check for the last couple of years. When you look at the Gators, you talk about their defense, and of course when you talk defense, you got to mention Brandon Horn.
Brandon Horn's a great addition to this lineup. Brandon Horn to me is like the Mr. Pedroia of Canadian fastball. You know, he plays great second base. He can do it all. He can punch the ball to the ballpark if he has to, but to me, he's the ultimate second baseman. He's a great defensive player.
And when we look at the Gremlins, it's been Roman Godoy that has shouldered most of the innings, but it's Andrew Kirkpatrick, the veteran, that's going to get the start here today.
That really threw me for a loop. I really thought that they'd stay with that same strategy, that they would give the ball to Roman Godoy and then use Andrew out of the bullpen, but they're flipping the coins here, and they're going to put everything on the starter, Andrew Kirkpatrick.
So let's go through the batting order. First for the visitors, the Toronto Gators sporting a 3-0 record. It'll be Beninoka to lead things off, followed by Brandon Horn. Ryan Bolin is the number 3 hitter. Wayne Laulu bats in the cleanup spot. Brad Rona is in the 5-hole. Shane Bolin bats 6th. Thomas Inoka is in the 7th spot. Thomas Macchia bats 8th, and Ty Sebastian will bat in the 9th spot. Defensively for the New York Gremlins, it'll be Matt Waugh, who made an outstanding grab yesterday, a diving play over the fence to steal back a home run. Kyle Ezekiel will be in center field, and Zenon Winters will be in right field. Brian Avery is on the hot corner. Nick Mullins will be playing short. Ladislav Malarzuk is the second baseman. Matt Palazzo is at first, and Rafael Flores will be catching for Andrew Kirkpatrick. And we are moments away from getting underway here, but we'll be back after this very short break.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Varn Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Line's equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Welcome back here as the teams are about to get set here. Andrew Kirkpatrick in the circle. And of course, he'll be going up against Sean Cleary, the ace of the Toronto Gators squad. And Joe, we go back to the question of having Kirkpatrick in the circle as opposed to Roman Godoy. And I think the only thing we can look at it is you want a veteran in the circle and someone who is very familiar with the Gators team.
Exactly. You're looking for the leadership. Andrew's been this route before. Andrew, this will be his second start of the tournament. Pitched 8.2 innings so far, just giving up 4 hits, but with 14 strikeouts and allowed just 1 walk.
So we're about to get ready to start here as Ben Anoka will lead things off for the unbeaten Toronto Gators, and of course the same can be said for the New York Gremlins, also sporting a 3-0 record. Something has to give here. Both these two teams, the loser will remain in the winner's bracket. And Joe, a very important game. The winner will move on to playing the undefeated game. That will go tomorrow.
Well, obviously you'd like a rest. You want to have that balance of the day off tomorrow. So the big victory tonight would go a long way for that.
So ready to start here. Ben Anoka steps in, and first pitch from Kirkpatrick is in the dirt for ball 1.
First pitch at 6:30 p.m.
In case there's somewhere you got to be. Don't be anywhere but here, Joe.
I wouldn't want to be.
No, and that pitch chopped foul by Anoka. Anoka, of course, in talks as being one of the best all-round fastball players in the world. Him, Nick Shales, and a few others in the same conversation. And Ben has been the spark plug for this Gators team all season. The 1-1 outside corner for a called strike.
Ben 4 for 10 with a 400 batting average so far in the 3 games played up to this point.
So a good batting average for your leadoff hitter. And that ball is flared out into right field. An easy play for Zenon Winters. And there's one away. And that will bring up Brandon Horn. So a good pitch from Kirkpatrick got Anoka to fly out. And with one away, he'll have to contend with one of the Team Canada mainstays in Brandon Horn. And he starts him off with I believe that was a strike.
A little late reaction, but...
Well, I wasn't sure. The arm got caught behind the pole there. Not quite sure if it signaled it was high or a strike as Kirkpatrick comes in tight. And Horn does inch up really close to the plate. So Kirkpatrick, being a veteran, not afraid to throw inside.
Yeah, he says that's part of my territory. If you want to hang there, then be prepared.
Well, the 1-1 again inside, and he went around. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. No score. We are just underway here in the first undefeated semifinal. 4 top teams left. It'll be the Hill United Chiefs and the Scarborough Force that will do battle in our next game. So make sure you stick around for that. And a swing and a miss. Good rise ball from Kirkpatrick. Got Horn to chase it out of the zone, and with 2 away now, it'll be Ryan Boland.
Ryan Boland 2 for 8 so far, but 4 key RBIs. Very clutch when runners on base.
And Kirkpatrick coming in and missing in. 1 ball, no strikes. think we were as surprised as probably the Gators were that Kirkpatrick got the call, as he nibbles on the inside corner for a called strike. And must be some method to the madness, and as we go along here, we'll see if it was a good decision or a not so good decision. And that pitch, swing and a miss.
Everything's been on the inside so far to Ryan Boland. He's really working the inside corner of that plate, the left-handed batter.
Patrick's thrown in tight to the first two hitters as well. So trying to establish that inner part of the plate. And that pitch from Boland just got a piece of it to stay alive. 1-2 the count. Beautiful day today, but man, scorching hot. 102 on the diamond. So not much relief, unless you head to the beer tent, of course. Other than that, it's not too bad in the shade, Joe, if there's a breeze, but that pitch just got another piece of it, did Boland. And it looked like it went off of Rafi Flores. And those guys that do the catching, boy, they got some war wounds.
Home plate umpire Ed Otterman from Ontario making sure that Flores is okay, so he took time to clean off the plate. Balance of the umpire, Steve Jonke at first base, and John Hand from Missouri or from Illinois here on third base.
So down goes Boland. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Kirkpatrick. End the inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left the board. We've played a half inning. New York Gremlins to bat in a moment.
The law firm of Fireman Steinmetz Dea built its reputation on getting fair compensation for victims of serious personal injury or catastrophic claims. With a combined 90 years of experience and a fierce dedication to achieving results, fireman lawyers have recovered millions of dollars every year for our clients. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, a slip and fall, or as a result of any other act of negligence, when we represent you, we're committed to getting the results you deserve. With the lawyers at Fireman Steinmetz Dea, you are not alone. Contact us through firemanlawyers.com for a free consultation. No legal fees are billed until you receive your settlement. We thank Jack Fireman for his generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Hello and welcome back here. And let's set the batting order for the New York Gremlins. It'll be Matthew Watt leading things off, followed by Ladislav Malarchuk. Blair Ezekiel will be batting in the 3-spot. Matt Palazzo bats cleanup. Rafael Flores is the number 5 hitter. Zenon Winters follows him. Kyle Ezekiel is in the 7th spot. Brian Avery will be batting 8th, and Nick Mullins is in the 9th spot. Defensively for the Toronto Gators, Thomas Inoka's in left, Ben Inoka in center, and Thomas Macchia in right. Ty Sebastian on the hot corner, Shane Boland at short, Brandon Horn at second, Big Brad Roan at first, and Ryan Boland will be catching for Sean Cleary. And Sean Cleary has been the workhorse, Joe, for this Toronto Gators team, and we have expected nothing less here at this tournament.
Well, Sean has pitched 18 of the 19 innings that the Gators have played so far, with 41 strikeouts, with only 3 walks, so in a 0.00 ERA. Very minute out there, so he's done a great job this week for the Toronto Gators. Justin Schofield just pitched the 1 inning.
So Team Canada teammates set to face off here as Matthew Waugh will lead things off for the New York Gremlins in the bottom of the first inning. Scoreless here in the first undefeated semifinal. Lance Winn alongside Joe Todd. Glad you've tuned in here on the ISC network. We will get you caught up on some scores and prep you for another big matchup between the Scarborough Force and the Hill United Chiefs. That follows this game here. Of course, the winners will meet. Big swing and a miss on a rise ball from Cleary. And that's Cleary's bread and butter pitch, Joe.
Exactly. He lives and dies on that pitch, so You'll see that a lot tonight.
So we'll see if the Gremlins can hold off chasing that pitch that Cleary likes to throw out of the zone and get the batters to chase. And he comes again with a rise ball, this time Waugh not biting, and the count even at 1-1. I think the players will be awfully glad when the sun goes down and there's a little bit of shade out there, Joe.
And the temperature might break 10 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, go all the way down to 98.
90.
So Cleary comes, and that shot through the left side, base hit, Matthew Waugh, leadoff man aboard for the Gremlins. Big turn, missed throw. Waugh's going to take off and slide safely into second. So a bit of a mental error from the Toronto Gators there, as Matthew Waugh turned a single into a double, courtesy of throwing error, and just like that, leadoff man's in scoring position for Ladislav Malarchuk.
Well, a great jump here by the New York Gremlins to get a runner at second base right off the hop. A little bit of an error by Thomas Anoka.
Well, you know, Joe, when you get these two elite teams and they meet, you have to figure there are only going to be few opportunities, and it's going to be about who makes the mistake and who capitalizes. That's who's going to come away with the W here. Malarchuk chased the rise ball, and Cleary out in front, no balls and a strike. So again, Matthew Waugh with a single, and a throwing error courtesy Thomas Anoka, missing the cutoff man, allowed Waugh to scamper over to second. And bunt attempt is foul, or miss, sorry, by Malarchuk.
Malarchuk tied for the most RBIs on the team with the New York Gremlins with Matthew Waugh with 3. He's 4 for 9 with a .444 batting average.
Well, he should have squared and taken that if he was going to. Looked like he sort of did a half-hearted bunt attempt, and he's in the hole 0-2. And a rise ball. So a good 0-2 pitch wasted by Cleary to run the count to 1-2. Of course, congratulations to CPI, winners of the ISC 2 division, running the table, winning 3 games today. In this heat, that's no easy task. And a rise ball. Malarchuk got a little of it, looked like, but apparently did not, and it looks like what was normally a strikeout is not, as Malarchuk will be standing on first base.
Gets credit for the strikeout, but he gets on base by ways of an error there. And Matthew Waugh now also advancing to third base on that same play.
So runners on the corner for Blair Ezekiel. And Ezekiel, of course, batting in the 3 spot here today. And he's going to be called on to produce. And in this situation, a big situation here in the bottom of the first.
Blair only batting .222, 2 for 9 so far. Has scored twice.
And he lines one out to center field. Anoka went in, went back, recovered. Easily coming in to score is Matthew Waugh. So Blair Ezekiel with a sac fly will cash the first run of the ball game in Matthew Waugh, and it's 1-0 in favor of the New York Gremlins.
Well, the extra bases that you gave away there by the Gators come back to haunt them as the Gremlins scored the first run of the game.
So that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Matt Palazzo. So Blair Ezekiel gets the job done. First pitch swinging, and it'll be up to Palazzo now with 1 away. Cleary with a hard drop on the outside corner for a strike. I think that's the first hard drop he's thrown.
He might have to use that pitch a little more tonight. Seemed to be on that rise ball. Hit 2 balls, no, just the 1 ball so far. Blair did get a pretty good piece of that ball out to center field.
And a nibble outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-0 the score in favor of the Gremlins. They played it a run after the leadoff man, Matthew Waugh, singled. And advanced on a pass ball, ground ball, and then ended up coming in to score on a sac fly. Big rip from Palazzo. Swing and a miss, chasing that rise ball. And it looks awfully good when it leaves Cleary's hand.
And the big wheelhouse swing there by Palazzo, but couldn't catch up with it there.
One, two, swing and a miss. Down goes Palazzo. So second strikeout of the inning for Cleary. This one a better result than the last, as Rafael Flores will step into the right side of the batter's box. 2 away here, 1-0 the score in favor of the Gremlins. Of course, the winner of this game will play the winner of the Scarborough Forest Hill United game tomorrow in the undefeated game. And the winner of that, of course, will earn a trip to the finals on Championship Saturday.
Flores a good addition, 4 for 8, 500 batting average in this tournament with a double.
Hits the ball hard, takes a good rip, does Flores, doesn't get cheated. And that pitch, hard ground ball over to Bolin, and the horn for the putout at second. So 6-4 ends the inning and the threat, but not before the Gremlins push a run across. 1-0 the score. We've played 1 complete, headed to the top of the second after this.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at mrnednyc.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Varn Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Varn Matosian, Mr. Ned. Well, you should be sporting one of those suits soon, Joe.
Next time I get to New York, I'll stop in and see him.
You do that, and then sport it on a nice day like this.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Wool one.
Yeah, wool. So it'll be Wayne Laulu, followed by Brad Rona and Shane Bolin, the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Toronto Gators here in the top of the second inning, trailing by a run. And Laulu can tie this game up in a hurry, Joe. He certainly doesn't get cheated on his swings either.
He's got a big, compact swing, but swings with a lot of power, a lot of strength in the upper body.
Of course, Laulu, one of the best power hitters in the game. And a big rip there on a rise ball. And you can bet Andrew Kirkpatrick is well aware of what Laulu can do.
Laulu 3 for 8. So 3 hits, but one's been a triple and one's been a home run. 2 RBIs on his books too.
The 0-1 comes back with a drop ball outside corner, so ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, is Andrew Kirkpatrick. Good crowd on hand here. You can't see it, but the bleachers are full. Standing room only up and down the right and left field line as Kirkpatrick climbed the ladder. He was going to make sure that was a waste pitch.
Flores was doing tryouts for the NBA New York Knicks there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And he comes in tight. 2-2. So not sure what Laulu is conversing about, but either way, it looks like the umpire, corrected that, because originally he put up a 3-2 count, but I only counted 2-2.
All right.
So he corrected it. 2-2 is the count. And that pitch fouled back. Good battle here. Both these two have been around this circuit for a number of years and have faced each other before, not just in the Worlds, but in other international competition. And that pitch driven out deep on a line and caught by, and a heck of a grab by Thomas Inoka out there. Sorry, by Matthew Waugh, as that ball was hit hard but hit right at him. So Laulu lines out, and that will bring up Brad Rona.
As I said, nice compact swing, but he gets everything when he hits that ball.
Well, if he hit that 2 feet to the left or to the right of Waugh, that's going to be extra bases for sure. Hard drop, missing down and out from Kirkpatrick. And took a little off that pitch and in there for a strike.
Rona just 1 for 4 with a 250 batting average so far. Played in all 3 games.
A lot of times early in the tournament, your big sticks don't necessarily need to be effective. Other guys are able to step up, and that's what the case has been for the Toronto Gators as Rona looks at another strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And he bounces that one in to even it up at 2-2. And a good pitch outside corner. Rona knew it. And Flores certainly did. 2 away. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Shane Boland.
Just a great location on that pitch. Just a pitch down and on the outside corner of the plate. Nothing that Rona could do with that pitch.
Well, he set him up nicely. Came with him, brought him the rise. Brought it in tight. Bounced one and then went to the outside corner. And again, that's a veteran pitcher in that circle. As Kirkpatrick starts bowling off with a strike. Andrew's got good command of his pitches so far. He's been working the corners as well as the top and bottom of the strike zone. And a good hack from Shane Boland, but he fouled it straight back.
Boland just 1 for 7 with a 143 batting average so far in the tournament.
So he's going to have to pick it up a notch. And that was okay up to this point, but now when you get to the Elite Four, there's not a lot of room, margin for error. And a swing and a miss. So Kirkpatrick, back-to-back strikeouts, sits down the Gators 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, and nobody left the board. We're going to head down to the bottom of the second after this.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Welcome back here as we get set for the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 the score in favor of the New York Gremlins. It was Matthew Waugh responsible for the game's first and only run. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters in Zenon Winters, Kyle Ezekiel, and Brian Avery. The slated 3 to face Sean Cleary here. And we'll see if the Gremlins can add to their total or whether or not Cleary, who does really a good job of shaking things off, Joe, and he's got a lot of composure, and usually in tough situations he continues to battle hard.
Yes, he'll be called upon, but hopefully the jitters are out of the Toronto Gators for the balance of the game now.
So Winters steps in, the right fielder, with his first look here at Sean Cleary. Shadows starting to creep across the infield. And I can't imagine they could come all too soon for everyone involved, as Cleary with a high drop that's in there for a strike. So a very effective pitch, Joe, and he doesn't throw it a lot, but if you have good command of that high drop, it's really a very tough pitch to hit.
It is, exactly. That ball coming in at the knees, but then just willing to drop on that ball, and you're really very tough to get a bat on it. If you're gonna do anything with it, it's just like hitting a 9-iron.
So Winters took a healthy cut, and he's in the hole now, 0-2. And that pitch, 3-hopper to Rona, and he'll do it himself. So just like that, one away, and that'll bring up Kyle Ezekiel. And I believe Kyle is younger brother, youngest of
three.
Of the three.
Yep.
And they're all happen to be here in Quad Cities playing for their respective teams. So certainly a fastball family in the Ezekiel family. And Cleary puts a little on that, but missing outside. First time he started a batter off with that hard drop. And you don't get any more deliberate than Sean Cleary. And that pitch is lifted out to left. That's going to drop for a base hit. So Kyle Ezekiel with a single to left. And the Gremlins have a base runner with one out for Brian Avery.
Great job by Ezekiel. Just took the pitch that was given to him by Cleary. A little drop ball, and he just put a bat out in front of it. Didn't have the big power swing there, just enough to get over the infield.
Didn't have to hurt it, just had to put it in the right place, and that's exactly what he did. Avery with a foul ball. So a good situation here for Avery in that he, of course, despite batting in the 8th spot, is certainly a very good hitter.
Avery 2 for 7 with a .286 batting average.
So Avery struggling a bit in this early going of this tournament, but he's one of those guys that the Gremlins will rely on in crunch time and in the big games. He has been no stranger to international competition for quite a few years now. Chased that rise ball and fouled it off the back screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. 1-0 the score in favor of the New York Gremlins. We are in the bottom of the second inning. 1 away, runner on first. Lance Winn Joe Todd. It'll be myself and Chris Abbott to follow this one. And a good drop ball from Cleary. Sits down Avery. Good pitch. A lot of movement on that, and that'll bring up Nick Mullins.
Completely tied up Avery.
I don't know if Avery thought that was a rise ball or what, but that ball fell off the table just before the bat. So Mullins gets his first peek here at Cleary.
Mullins struggling, just 1 for 6 with a 167 batting average.
And Cleary starts him off with a rise ball out of the zone, hoping that he might chase. And Cleary comes back, but it's in there for a called strike. A little bit of a delayed reaction, but the count even at 1-1. So the Legends tournament underway here at the Green Valley Sports Complex, as is the under-21 division. Cleary took something off, missed down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. So action on all the diamonds here, as this is one busy place, Joe.
Yes, it's a great 8-diamond complex. We're using 5 of the 8 diamonds this week.
And Cleary with a rise ball, missing out. So Mullins, a good job of taking that pitch, has run the count to 3-1. Mullins has seen 2 of those rise balls and has not chased either. So good discipline. And that's in there for a called strike, so Mullins can save the trot and come on back and get in the batter's box with the count full. I'm not sure I know any umpire that appreciates that.
No, it just puts you in a bad hole, right? And his first plate appearance.
Well, you better get the bat off the shoulder here, because anything close. And time called. Cleary gets in there, he gets on the rubber, and he holds that pose for a while.
Very deliberate style.
And that ball is lifted up and drifting just foul. As Ryan Boland trying to climb the fence to get at that ball. So the count remains full here, 3-2 to Nick Mullins. Mullins, of course, a mainstay at short for these Gremlins, has been for a number of years. Also involved in Team USA. We want to let our viewers know that we'll be having a chat with John Stuart as down goes Mullins to end the inning and the threat. Back-to-back strikeouts from Sean Cleary. 1 hit, no runs, and 1 runner left aboard, and we have played 2 complete. Headed to the 3rd. We'll be back after this.
Think about the greatest tournaments and championships played in fastball. Remember the players who have been at the highest pinnacle of our game, like Adam Folkard and Andrew Kirkpatrick. Gorilla Gold was there helping them win. What has been a closely guarded secret by the most prominent players is now available for you. We're ready to give you a hand to play at your best in all conditions. Visit us online at GorillaGold.com to order your Gorilla Gold products today.
Welcome back here. 1-0 the score in favor of the New York Gremlins. Lance Winn alongside Joe Todd, and we will be joined shortly by John Stuart, of course, the skipper for Team Canada, and Glad to have him. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters here in the top of the third inning. Thomas Inoka followed by Thomas Macchia and Ty Sebastian. And I am joined now by John Stuart. And John, thanks very much for taking the time. And when it comes to a tournament like this, is part of the process scouting these guys, or what exactly is your role here at the tournament?
Scouting our guys as well as some of our younger guys that we have in the athletes pool, and of course the players from our guys. That's one of the keys for us is scouting their pitching and hitting and taking every advantage we can for the next Worlds.
Right. So coming into this now, you talk about development program, and of course we have to start with the younger guys and bring them up. What are the plans then as far as getting the younger core guys and bringing them along and moving them up? Will they eventually end up on your squad?
Yeah, well, I think for next year we're probably going to have 3 or 4 spots where some of the younger guys are going to challenge for spots, and as long as they know and we're honest with them about the process that we have in place, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And now with the Worlds every 2 years, as long as they keep at it and they're playing top level ball, they're going to be seriously looked at. So we look to probably replace 2, 3, 4 guys every rotation every 2 years. So they just got to keep at it and work and keep going with the game.
So with that said, and of course growing the game is the number one priority for Team Canada, and you as well, as we see a ball lifted out and will drop for a base hit from Thomas Inoka. So a leadoff single, and the Gators have themselves a base runner here. Well, John, to get to the senior squad, I think everybody looks and everybody watches. What are some of the challenges that you found in getting a group together to be competitive every 2 years at the Worlds?
Yeah, the hardest part is the geographics of it is, from Newfoundland to BC, and getting guys together on a consistent basis within your budgets of Softball Canada. And they've done a great job the last couple of years making sure that we're getting everything that we're asking for and accommodating us as much as they can. So the biggest challenge is just getting guys together more on a regular basis, and that's always going to be a challenge, unfortunately, with a big country like Canada. So tournaments like this are very valuable for us for scouting and advanced scouting and just looking at players from different countries, and as well as our younger guys.
Now, of course, challenges aside, is there anything in particular that you as a head coach would like to see, or what can you say to some of these younger guys that are in the junior program? What can you say to them? Because, it's a tough gap, right? You go from junior and then you automatically jump up with the big boys. What can you say to these junior guys to try to get them motivated to continue to play at a high level and eventually, get a spot on your squad, or at least maybe earn an invite to the camp?
Yeah, and that is a challenge. We have to preach patience with these guys because it is a big step coming from junior. You can be one of the top junior players in the world, but when you come up to the next level, and that's what I tell people whenever they're telling me about a player or to watch a player. We'll watch the junior players, but we really start watching them closely when they're at the senior level. And the biggest thing is get on a team where you're going to play. It's not about being on the best team. It's about being in a position that we've asked you to look at and work on, or at least a couple positions, and make sure you get some innings in and some at bats, and you're playing. Not just to go on a team that's stacked to win a ring. You got to play, and you got to play at this level, and play a lot to keep progressing.
So with that said, John, of course, tell me then, what can guys do? So there is that gap. What would you like to see then happen? There's been talk about maybe an under-23 division or, an intermediate division where these kids can kind of get some seasoning before they head up with the big boys, so to speak. And what would you like to see as far as filling that void?
Well, I'd like to see every province in Canada kind of take the blueprint of what Newfoundland does with their league. The younger players coming up, they do an actual draft. They don't just get to go on their brother's team or their best friend's team or whatever. They have to do a draft, and that league is very good. So I would like to see the provinces really get some sort of structure. I know it's easier said than done, of course. But as for the U23, I don't know about that. I mean, I think once you're done U21, I think it's time for the guys to step up, even if it's senior B. That's a level up from junior, and play in their local leagues. And even if they have to travel an hour to play a senior B type program or league, I think that's going to benefit them, because you're seeing a little bit better pitching, a little bit better hitting, defense, and you're going to see the maturity of the players you're playing against. And it's a process, and part of the problem is that a lot of players at a young age have had success as a junior. They don't want to go through that process of being patient. For example, when I started, I was happy to be a base runner at a tournament or whatever, and you just gotta go through the process and trust it. If you want it bad enough, we're gonna notice you no matter where you're at, and you're gonna get invited to a camp.
These kids and their sense of entitlement, I tell you, we could have a whole conversation about that.
I got two teenagers, so I know what
so there you go, and I do as well. So we're speaking from experience with that, as you see Ty Sebastian go down for the second out of the inning. So last question, John, what can we expect to see, or what's on the horizon for Team Canada? What are you guys preparing for right now?
Well, we, as you know, we have the Worlds in Whitehorse next year, and we're going to have myself, Les Howie, and John Hill. We're going to have a teleconference, probably with Mike Brancho, and we're going to discuss what we want to do leading up to the Worlds. We have a few different options, but I like what we did last year. We had we had one camp scheduled, and we added a second in April, where it was just to get together, get the guys to know each other. Did some fitness testing, and that wasn't in the budget, but Softball Canada, really came through for us there. I would like something similar to that. It's always nice to play games, but I think the most important thing is getting a feel for the team, not just necessarily the best player, but you got to fit in with the team, and you got to be in it for the right reasons. Whether you're a number 3 hitter on the Toronto Gators or the Gremlins or whoever the case may be, you might be a number 8 hitter on Team Canada, and you have to be able to accept that role. And we want guys that are willing to accept that role, or be happy to put on that maple leaf on the front of your chest and be a bench player, whatever the case may be. They're willing to do whatever it takes.
I think you got to buy in. You're absolutely right.
100%.
I like what you're saying, because this is really a chemistry game, and I think it plays such a big role when you're out there. And if the guys know that your teammates got your back, I think that goes a long way.
Absolutely, yeah. It's that's what it's all about. I'm a big believer in that. You want just as much success for the guy that's out in the field, where it's it's a position you're used to playing. But maybe you're a shortstop and you're the backup shortstop for the national team. You truly and wholeheartedly want that person who's playing that position to be successful, and you're ready and willing to fill in that spot if need be. And but that's what it's all about. The chemistry of the team is huge, and last year we changed a few things, and we really talked about swagger and confidence and honesty, and we had a real close-knit group last year, and it was zero complaints that I've heard of, so it was a real good process.
Well, I got to congratulate you. We, of course, were in Saskatoon for that big win, and I tell you that we were pretty emotional as Canadians and pretty proud. The atmosphere was unbelievable, but I think what we found was that when we saw the team out together, hanging together, they were together all the time. We knew that, look at what a good bunch of guys, and you had your Ellsworths and your Mullalis, you had those guys making sure that everyone was kind of corralled and everyone was doing things together, and it was really amazing to see, and it translated onto the field.
Absolutely.
Because obviously everyone had bought in, and the way you guys played was unbelievable.
You hit the nail on the head. Like guys like Elsie and Lolly and some of the veterans, some of the new guys, the younger guys that maybe they've never been on a national team before, they all felt equal. They all felt welcome. They didn't, they weren't sitting by themselves. They were all. That was one of the biggest things that when we went into camp in April, we really wanted to change. And every single guy that we had on that roster, and including some guys that didn't make that final roster, really bought in. And we had a lot of support from guys that didn't make that final roster.
Well, Coach, you have done an excellent job with Team Canada. Now, of course, target on your back, since, but a good target, right? And that's okay. Well, we certainly want to thank you for joining us here on the ISC Network. We hope to see a lot of you, and, of course, success going forward for Team Canada. Go Canada, go.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. So down go the Brandon Horn, a fly out to left field to end it. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left aboard. And we head to the bottom of the third. Back here in a moment.
First Nations Payment Systems strives to deliver innovative and secure solutions that benefit merchants everywhere. We can help you decrease your costs and increase your revenues. With more than 1 million merchant locations using the First Nations Payment Systems platform worldwide, you can't go wrong by making the switch. When you partner with First Nations Payments, your clients will benefit from our world-class payment experts, support staff, and cutting-edge technologies. To learn more about how First Nations Payments can help your organization, contact us through our website at firstnationspayments.ca. We thank First Nations Payments for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Welcome back here to the Green Valley Sports Complex in Moline, Illinois. Lance Winn Joe Todd. I want to thank our guest, Mr. John Stuart, the head coach for Team Canada, for joining us here last inning. Provided a lot of insight, and we're very appreciative of that. So, going forward now for the New York Gremlins here in the bottom of the third inning, it will be the top of the shop in Matuwa, followed by Vladislav Malarchuk and Blair Ezekiel. 1-0 the score in favor of the Gremlins. And it was Matty Waugh who singled and ended up scoring in the first, so he's 1 for 1.
Matthews willing to spray that ball anywhere, so he's willing to take that outside pitch.
Pitch from Cleary missing up. And we've seen that trend with Cleary starting the batters off, or at least the veteran hitters starting them off, the guys that I think he knows, and starting them off with a rise ball.
That one just kind of got up and away from him.
That pitch, a nibble on the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1. Good pitch from Cleary. Took something off that. We look at the matchups for our next game, Hill United Chiefs, Scarborough Force. It'll be Adam Folkert and Juan Portalicio, the scheduled pitchers for that ball game, as the Force have just filed into the ballpark. Cleary missing up with a rise ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Shadows starting to creep a little further across the infield. And I don't think that the players they just can't wait for that shade to cover the entire diamond.
Thomas Mackey out in right field just kind of has his hand over the edge of his glove, kind of keeping the sun out of his eyes.
Directly on the right side of the infield, very difficult to see at this time. And a nibble outside. So Cleary's been working the zone. 3-1 the count to Matuwa. Being very careful to his Team Canada teammate. I'm sure he's seen what Waugh can do.
He's got excellent wheels too, so you have to be very careful.
And a good pitch right in there for a called strike. So the count full now, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Gators have to do their darndest to keep Matthew Waugh off the base pass. He's a little spark plug that drives this engine.
And chase the rise ball. So Sean Cleary battles back, wins that battle, and down goes Waugh for the first out of the third. That'll bring up Ladislav Malarchuk, the second baseman. Of course, he struck out but reached base on an error as the ball got away from Ryan Bolin. 1 away, 1-0 the score in favor of the Gremlins. We are in the bottom of the third inning. It's been a very tight game up to this point, Joe. Exactly what we expected.
Yes, this is going to be a real showdown here. We talked about the number 2 and number 3 teams here tonight, and it's exactly what the fans and the broadcast team were looking for.
And there's been so much parity around the top 5 throughout the summer that it's a matter of who's bringing it on which day that could come away with a W, as Cleary working the outside corner for a strike. Malarchuk looks back and he can't believe that caught any part of the corner.
They never do.
It's funny how that happens. They never do. You're right, Joe. Everyone's always in disbelief.
Yeah, that plate must have shrunk.
Must have shrunk just, well, I think as a batter, you hope it does.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. And that rise ball is lifted foul out of play. Thought that may have landed in the garbage can, but it just bounced to the right. What are the chances of that happening? So back to work here is Cleary with an 0-2 count. I tell you, you could grow a beard waiting for Cleary to throw that ball sometimes. And outside corner for a strike, and Malarchuk can debate it all he wants, but it was called a strike when he threw it there earlier in the count, and needless to say, it was going to be a strike later in the count. So back-to-back strikeouts for Sean Cleary going back an inning, and that'll bring up Blair Ezekiel. Ezekiel, of course, with a sac fly, he has driven in the only run of the ball game.
Sean and Ryan Bolin now seem to be on the same page. They had a little bit of a bleep there in the first inning.
And he comes inside and missing down low. Of course, Blair Ezekiel has been around the circuit and back, to say the least. He has been involved with Team Canada. He has played on a world-class team on a number of occasions. And, of course, since then been a mainstay for these Gremlins. And the 1-0 from Cleary in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Cleary tired of throwing that brand spanking new ball, and would appreciate something with a little bit of scuff in it. Yeah, I'm saying scuff, I'm not saying color, because the color seems to change in a half inning, right?
True.
Well, we're not going to bring that up again, are we, Joe?
No, we're not.
No, okay.
Pardon?
Yes, that's right. That whole Gorilla Gold thing. Rise ball looked close, but just missed upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Nice setup pitch. Now we'll see what Sean's coming back with here.
He has been working that outside drop. And take a good pitch like that to get Ezekiel. And a good cut. I don't think that was an outside drop, Joe.
No, I think it was a rise ball that didn't rise, and he's very fortunate.
Very fortunate based on the cut that Ezekiel had on that one. And that might be the discussion between Ryan Bolin and Sean Cleary, that we might not want to go with that one again.
Yeah.
So whatever it was, put that in your back pocket till the next inning. Ezekiel, usually a disciplined hitter, but I've seen him susceptible to chase some pitches out of the zone. Be interesting to see here what Cleary comes with a 2-2 count. And he hits him. So he catches him on the elbow. Certainly not the plan, but Ezekiel will make his way down to first base, and that'll bring up Matt Palazzo, the cleanup hitter. So Cleary's certainly not afraid to throw inside, and
yeah, as either was Kirkpatrick earlier in the game, so they're both kind of showing their territory.
And that's the way, and Ezekiel definitely crowds that plate just a bit, and he doesn't move. So a runner on with 2 away here, and Palazzo stepping in. Palazzo struck out to end the first. Sorry, in the first.
Palazzo, one of 6 batters on this New York Gremlin team that picked up a home run in the earlier games. Toronto Gators coming into this final game with, or not the final game, but this playoff game with just 1 home run.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself now, Joe.
No.
Although Blair Setford would be happy to hear that. Palazzo outside corner for a strike. Sean seems to be having some good success to left-handed batters working that outside corner. Hasn't been able to really do the same consistently to the righties. And that rise ball, got a good piece of that, but fouled that straight back. So we talk about opportunities, Joe, and good teams will capitalize on it. Same with pitches. Good hitters will capitalize on a pitcher's mistake. If you don't throw a ball that has a lot of movement or you miss the spot, then these guys 1 through 9 can make you pay.
Exactly. And again, you don't talk about the errors that are in the scorebook. It's the errors that maybe a pitch got away, a walk potentially, that hit batsman that we just seen by Blair Ezekiel.
And that's a high chopper. Cleary fields it over to first in time. Just in time, I might add. So 1-3 on the putout. Ends the inning, and what little threat there was. We have played 3 complete innings. The score, the New York Gremlins 1, Toronto Gators 0.
At Cooper Tire, we make tires for people, not just cars. Our brand promise is that Cooper Tires perform on the road so drivers can perform everywhere those roads take them, because life is a journey. From the everyday motorist to the most demanding high-performance off-road and motorsports enthusiasts, we have tires for you. Cooper Tire is proudly based in Findlay, Ohio, and we have manufacturing, sales and distribution, technical and design operations within our family of companies in more than a dozen countries around the world. Visit us online at coopertire.com to learn more. Cooper Tire, proud of where we've been, confident in where we're going.
Why do you play? For 100 years since 1912, Worth has been helping top athletes answer that question. Whether it's for strikeouts or home runs, the Worth K-Master 120 is the best ball in men's fast-pitch softball. And there's nothing soft about it or you. Worth is proud to be the official ball supplier to the ISC. Visit worthsports.com for more information on Worth products, including the K-Master.
Welcome back here as we get set for the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Ryan Boland followed by Wayne Laulu and Brad Rona. The scheduled 3 hitters for the Toronto Gators, trailing by a run here. Facing Andrew Kirkpatrick as he starts bowling off with a rise ball out of the zone. Of course, Ryan Boland and Shane Boland. The Boland brothers, as that pitch is chopped foul. And we will be joined again by another special guest, and Denny Bruckert, the head honcho for Team USA. We'll be bringing him in to join our discussion, of course. And how you doing, Denny? Thanks for joining us, taking the time out here. And all right, and just a quick question with your program now. You're here obviously scouting and keeping an eye on the guys and that sort of thing. What are you really looking for in one of the young guys and, in their development and can you see the potential in these guys when you see them either at the junior ranks or if they're the young guys playing here with the big boys?
That's exactly right. I was at the juniors, World there, in Midland there, and exactly what I was looking for with the young players and see how they're doing and who we should target after that. And then was at the ISA after that, looking at ball players, and here at the ISC looking at a lot of great ball players. It's twofold, really, to be honest with you. Number one, we're looking for guys not ready for next year in 2017, but we're also looking at the guys that there's a mix. I mean, you could go out there and pick 10, 12 guys real quick and say they're on your national team, but the next 5, 6 guys are really tough.
As that pitch is a home run from Ryan Bolin, leading things off in style, and with one swing of the bat, we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Ryan got all of that pitch and just drove it over that right field fence. Right fielders and Winters kind of kept an eye on it, hoping that it was going to die out there, but not so lucky.
So, Coach, I don't know. You must be good luck for the Toronto Gators. I tell you, haven't been able to get anything done until you got. So, tell me then, what as the coach of the senior team, what are you looking for in the junior kid? So, if you got a junior kid who's on the cusp, how can he or what can he work on to make that jump to the next level?
Our idea of this whole thing is to identify these guys, these junior kids, or the kids that's coming up for maybe 19, 21, since they have the Worlds every 2 years now, and then we'll get them to identify, get them into our system, and then we can watch them and try to get them to the better tournaments to see the better pitch. It's all about seeing the better pitch, and that's who's going to make the world teams, and see these young kids and see them, get them advanced, and get them on the better teams where they can travel to see the top pitch in the world. So it's all about. And then basically this ISC tournament is to see our next. We got about 15 guys that's probably for the last 5 spots on the team, and it's really tough. So I mean, I'm trying to get this down where we can whittle it down and get a little bit closer.
Well, that's a good problem to have, Coach, when you got a pool like that to pick from. Question for you: since the change going from 2 years to 4 years, how has that affected your selection process?
It just makes more work for the coaching staff and for ASA and everybody. I mean, it certainly, every country's got the same situation. It makes it a little bit tough. As most of you guys know, when you have the Pan American Games and the World Games the same year for us senior guys to get that much time off. I mean, it's not quite like the girls' situation, but it all come. It seemed like Canada got their team there, but it got their team there that they needed to do. We lost one guy because he couldn't get off work, but I don't know. I think they'll try it for a while and see how it goes.
So, Coach, tell me then that it's been a while since your team has been on top of the podium. What kind of things are you guys looking to do to improve your standing and eventually get to where you guys want to be?
Everybody knows this game is all about pitching, and we got to develop our pitching, and we're taking a hard look at that situation right now. We're trying to get the guys down there from out of the juniors. We've got some guys coming up. Are they going to be ready for 2017? Certainly not. So we're going to have to patch together what we can do the next go. But I think in 2019, we'll have a couple guys that will be ready for it. We will have a couple younger guys on the staff this year. I think it'll be a good situation for them. One only went with 3 pitches last year. I'll certainly go 4 pitches the next time.
Right, so when you talk about that selection process and, of course, having the pool to choose from, what would be the determining factors? So say you had 10 guys and only 5 spots, how do you narrow that down?
Well, I mean, this is exactly. I'd really like to take a team over. We're looking at a couple of spaces where they're going to the Dominican Republic or in Argentina in November. And I'd like to leave a few veterans at home, several veterans, probably 8 or so of them at home, and take this guys that's in that in a pool of 10, 12 guys or 15 guys, whatever it might be, and let them guys, you got to see people on the road. I mean, this team aspect of the U.S. is a lot different from a club team. You got to fit in. You're representing your country, as everybody knows, and we take a lot of pride in that. And you got to find out if they can play within the team organization. You know, everybody's a star that plays on these teams. If you're going to make it, you're a star. So all of a sudden, you're on the bench. It's kind of a hard situation for some of these guys to handle, and you got to find out if these guys can handle it or not.
And I agree, Coach, and I think that when you talk about playing on the international stage like you are, how important would you say chemistry is for your team?
I think that, to be honest with you, it's probably the most.
Hang on, Coach. That is a towering home run from Big Bad Brad Rona. A 2-run shot has put the Gators in the lead 3-1. Man, oh man, Joe, I don't know. That had to have a flight number on that, because that was hit a long way.
Again, the second home run this inning given up by Andrew Kirkpatrick. Brad Rona got all of that pitch, and they easily cleared the left field fence by 25 feet. With Wayne Lalu on base, though, now the Toronto Gators have a 3-1 lead.
So, Coach, back to what we were talking about you see these teams out here, and I think the philosophy is that you keep a nucleus together at the very least, and then maybe add a piece or two. But with you guys, you have to figure that chemistry really is, and egos, of course. Like you said, you've got the guys that are coming from different areas. They're the best in that area. They come to your Team USA camp, and now everyone's the best from their area.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you guys deal with that?
Exactly. I mean, you got guys batting 3 or 4 in their club team, and all of a sudden they're batting number 9, or maybe even sitting on the bench with your United States, Canada, or whoever it might be. You know, it's a tough situation for everybody, and there is egos in this game. I mean, from when I played, from when I coached to now, I mean, there's a lot of egos in this game, and you got to swallow a lot of ego and play for your country, and it's a huge situation for everybody. And I really think that we addressed that a lot before, and I think we're past that problem now. And I mean, I think, to be honest with you, we could probably have, it's a 17-man team, and for the Worlds, and for the Pan Americans it was 15. That was really a tough one. But I mean, so you got to get these guys to realize that if you get cut and you're in the last cut, you're a great ball player. But a lot of guys take this personally, and it's a tough thing for the coaches. But we sit down as an organization, selection committee in the United States, and the coaching staff, and we make these hard decisions. And the guys got to live with it, and 90% of them do live with it.
Well, that's right. And the other 10, sorry, but you got to buy into the program if you want to play. So, Coach, final question for you. What is on the horizon for Team USA? What can we expect from you guys, or what are you guys preparing for right now?
Well, I just kind of mentioned a while ago, we was going to go to Dominican. Well, first was going to go to Venezuela, and then the country's going through some problems over there with the economy and everything, and that blew up in everybody's face, and they closed that down. And then Dominican Republic kind of jumped us and see if we'd go over there in November, which I would really love to do. But now we got approached by Argentina, and I know Mark Sarenson's here, and I know that the New Zealand team is going, and maybe the Czech team. So that would be a good situation if I could take these guys over there. And
as you see, Shane Boland grounding out for the first out of the inning. So a good play at short there from Nick Mullins, and one away. Roman Godoy has come in to relieve Andrew Kirkpatrick here. And Coach, I want to thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time out to come up here and
guys,
give us the insight.
I appreciate coming up here, and it's kind of good for me to be able to tell folks in softball world, I mean, what we're trying. We're working on young pitchers, we're working on young kids, and we're bringing them into the organization. That's what it's going to take to build us back up to where we used to be.
Well, Coach, we'll be keeping an eye on you. Of course, even as Canadians, we got to keep an eye on you guys, because you guys are always in the mix, and we just want to thank you for coming up and wish you guys good luck going forward.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Denny Bruckert, of course, the skipper for Team USA, the senior men's. Glad he could come up and take some time out and join us as It will be Thomas Inoka now, the left fielder. He's singled in his only other at bat, so something going here for the Gremlins. And a 3-1 lead, courtesy a long home run from Brad Rona, and a big swing and a miss. And Joe, it's been a while since we've seen that kind of power outage from big bad Brad Rona.
Again, yes, Brad, very quiet here so far in the tournament, but hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Sure isn't, because he put that in the woodlands out there as down goes Thomas Inoka swinging. 2 outs in the inning, and that will bring up Thomas Macchia. We've been waiting for Rona to break out and really show some of that power that we've seen for so many years. And he certainly got something he'd like from Andrew Kirkpatrick and launched that as Roman Godoy now. And I haven't seen Roman use the changeup yet, Joe, in a couple of batters that he's faced.
No, he hasn't yet, and he kind of uses that as a secret weapon, so I don't think we'll see that in his first inning of action.
And a good hard drop fouled out of play from Macchia. 3-1 to score here. There are 2 away. We are in the top of the 4th inning. The Gators have plated 2 here. Courtesy the long ball, a home run from Ryan Boland, and then a home run from Brad Rona. Have given them a 3-1 lead. So Roman Godoy trying to stop the bleeding here in the 4th, as Macchia will call time. And that's a check swing down the line, going to fall in no man's land. Too long a run out there for Zenon Winters. And Macchia will get another opportunity here against Godoy. Godoy, of course, an anchor for the gold medal winning Argentinian team a couple years ago in Whitehorse with the juniors. And he has made the jump to the senior ranks and announced his presence in last year's Worlds and continues to be a real force here this time around as well. And took something off. There it is right there. Turn the K the other way. And that will do it, but not before. 2 long home runs from the Gators. Put them up 3-1 to score. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th after this.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time Fastpitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Welcome back here to the Green Valley Sports Complex in Moline, Illinois. Lance Winn, Joe Todd, glad to have you with us here as 3-1 to score in favor of the Toronto Gators as they erupted for three in the top of this inning, courtesy 2 home runs, one from Ryan Bolin, the other from Brad Rona. A 2-run shot with Wayne Laulu on base, and just like that, Sean Cleary has himself a 2-run lead.
Real change of momentum here now for the Gators. We'll see if Gremlins can fight their way back here.
So Rafael Flores will lead things off. He's 0 for 1, grounded out. Big rip there, fielded by Ty Sebastian over to first in time. So in a blink of an eye, 1 pitch and 1 away.
Ty Sebastian, a newcomer to the Gator lineup this year. One of the young kids that we talked about that the Team Canada coaching staff is certainly looking at. Ty comes to the team from the national program in junior and has some pitching experience, but he'll be playing either third or shortstop or second for these Gators.
So Zenon Winters steps in now, and he looks at a first pitch ball up in the zone. So it looks like there have been a defensive change. Thomas Macchia has come out of right field. It looks like it could be Dustin Houts or Aaron Trude, one of the two.
Aaron Trude.
So Aaron Trude has come in. And good to see him in the lineup. Good speed out there in right field. Can play center or left as well. And that pitch missing. Well, not missing, catching the outside corner. Zenon Winters having a second look there. But they never changed their call. No balls, 2 strikes. And again, Winters doing everything in his power just to stay alive. Got a piece of that. So the shade has finally covered the entire diamond with the sun going down, lights almost taking full effect here. And some much needed relief to that heat as inside for a strike is Cleary. Winters strikeout. And there'll be 2 out for Kyle Ezekiel.
7th strikeout for Sean Cleary so far in the game.
So Cleary's been getting the job done here, and he seems to get better and more confident with a lead. And we'll see if that's the case here. Kyle Ezekiel singled in his first at bat and was left stranded at first base. So 1 for 1 here. And Cleary starts him off with a rise ball up in the zone. A battle of 2 undefeated teams here. The winner, of course, will advance to the undefeated game with a trip to the final on the line, and the winner of this game will take on the winner of our next game, which is the Scarborough Force and the Hill United Chiefs. That, of course, will go tomorrow at 7 p.m. local time. So Kyle Ezekiel steps in on the right side, and a big swing and a miss. So the count now even at 1-1. Good to see all the under 21s, Joe. Very enthusiastic. It's hot for them, but they like it.
4 junior teams here, 2 Canadian, 2 U.S. teams.
And that pitch from Cleary misses in. 2 balls and a strike. And you can bet that Cleary remembers that Kyle had a hit already. And maybe Shane Boland just a wee bit of a reminder of what pitch he hit. And couldn't hold that back and swings through. Two balls, two strikes, and two away. And that pitch grooved in there but didn't catch the inside part of the plate. So that'll run the count full. Congratulations to the Shakespeare Falcons, who finished second in the I-2. Very good run for them. Came up just a wee bit short. It was CPI that took that championship. And a swing and a miss. So Cleary wins that battle. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, and nobody left aboard. We're about to do our slide to 5, 3-1 in favor of the Gators. Back in a moment.
Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
So Beninoka now. Squared the bunt and let it go. So they're going to appeal down to see if he did go around, and he did not. So the count 1 ball, no strikes. 1 away here, and Oka 0 for 1 with a walk. And that pitch in tight. 2 balls, no strikes.
Again, Godoy working that inside portion of the plate. You worked that same portion last inning too to Thomas Anoka and to Thomas Macchia.
So again, Godoy keeping that changeup in his back pocket, and comes with a hard drop, swing and a miss from Beninoka. And I think the longer he can go without using it, Joe, the better off and more effective a weapon it is.
It will, yes. The longer you can disguise it and you don't have to show it, then leave it in your back pocket.
Two-one to count. And Godoy bends that one, but doesn't catch any part of the plate. So 3-1 the count. And there's that change. Ground ball to short. Nick Mullins over to first in time. So 6-3 on the putout. 2 away now, and that will bring up the second baseman, Brandon Horn.
Again, that pitch on the inside. Anoka just not able to get any strength on that ball. When you're got to turn your hands on that ball, you have no strength on that. Just a light dribbler going out the shortstop.
So very effective pitching from Godoy. Good job from Rafael Flores, of course, who orchestrates that. And that line drive from Horn, handled by Godoy. So he handles the line drive. I don't think it was as hard as he thought it was. Fortunately, we've, of course, seen that accident already this week and don't want to see it again. But for the Gators, no runs, no hits, and nobody left the board. We will continue our slide to 5 back here in a moment.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
So it will be Brian Avery to lead things off, followed by Nick Mullins, then back to the top of the shop in Matuwa, the scheduled hitters, and it looks like Sean Cleary is, again, very deliberate, certainly to start the inning here, working with a 3-1 lead. And Cleary with a lead is even better than Cleary when it's all even. So the Gremlins have some work to do here, but of course a very formidable lineup and quite capable of making up that 2-run deficit in a heartbeat. And took a little off, did Cleary, but not able to catch that inside corner. So the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Lance Winn Joe Todd, glad to have you here on the ISC Network. Appreciate you tuning in as we're in day 5, I believe, of competition, Joe.
Yes, I think
6,
so.
I don't know, might be 6. They're all blurring together, all this good ball and that rise ball. A healthy hack from Avery, fouled it straight back.
Well, Gremlins have to get something going here. This is the 5th inning, so potentially only 9 more guys going to the plate. Gremlins have to find that offense. They're down 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And Cleary outside corner for a strike. So all even at 2 now. Is Cleary to Avery. Defense straight away. Be a good time for these Gremlins to try and scratch out a run, and that one is fouled right back. So that rise ball was just up enough, Joe, that it didn't allow Avery to take it a long way the other way, and he ended up fouling that straight back.
But very close.
Just missed that.
Sean's really getting concerned about his footing out there on his release point on the mound. We'll see if that's going to affect him here.
And there have been some issues with that circle throughout the week. They have replaced it. And that pitch is shot foul down the right field line and out of play. So some new balls as you see Ryan Bolin. He's going to be a little more selective. He got a new one and weren't having it. So decided to bring the one that just went out of play back in. And looks like the umpire is going to come and tell Sean, no, you can't have that one, not without a check anyway. And sure enough, that was the case. So Avery steps back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count.
Big plate appearance right here.
And a swing and a miss. Sean Cleary wins that battle. So another strikeout for Cleary. And that will bring up Nick Mullins. So 9 strikeouts so far for Cleary, and he's looked pretty good doing it.
Yes, he's been really sharp the last 2 innings, so we'll see if he can stay on that roll. Now facing the number 9 batter, Nick Mullins.
Mullins was a strikeout victim in the 2nd to end the inning. And Cleary starts him off with a ball. And again, like you said, Joe, looks like there may be some issues with that landing spot for Sean Cleary. Now, you don't know because you had Andrew Kirkpatrick out there initially, and at about 6'5", 6'6", his landing spot's different than everybody else's. Then you got Roman Godoy who's come in. He's a good-sized kid, so his landing's different. And you got Sean, who I guess maybe his landing pad got a little work there in the process. So
again, yeah, everybody's wanting their own little spot where they can land, but looks like something's changed here a bit. Even the footing of maybe where Roman Godoy is landing is throwing off where Sean Cleary's landing. So a pitcher has to be comfortable on the mound.
Very much so. The 2-1 missing up. So behind in the count 3-1 to Nick Mullins. And Mullins, of course, the everyday shortstop for these Gremlins. And Cleary missing in. So Mullins works a 1-out walk. And that will take it to the top of the shop now in Matua. So Matua, of course, singled and scored a run in the first, struck out in the third. And always gets a little interesting third time through the order. With a runner aboard with one away here. The Gremlins trailing by 2, 3-1 to score. And Cleary put a little extra on that, groove that for a strike. No balls, one strike. Perfect fastball weather right now, Joe. Not sure if the clouds are rolling in or what the story is. They sure rolling quick.
It was nice to see the sun go away, though.
That is for sure. A little bit of relief. And wow, had an ocean on the rise ball. They're going to appeal it, and no, he did not go around. So the count now 1-1. So current temperature, Joe, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. But it feels like 102. So that gives you an idea what these players are dealing with. Still very hot down there despite the sun having gone down. But if you were out there with the sun, man, oh man.
I want to be the ice cream man today.
I think I saw at least 4 people melt. Me being one of them here. As Matua working with a 1-2 count. And that rise ball looked good. And Sean Cleary certainly wanted it, but up it was, and the count now 2-2.
Well, he's got to be really careful now. We got that one runner on base already by way of a walk. You don't want to set up that top part of the order. Matthew Wall wants to get on base so he can set up for Malarzook and Blair Ezekiel.
And what you want is you want a shutdown inning right now anyway. You certainly don't want to give up a run after your team has given you the lead. Gators, of course, trailed until the 4th when they 2 home runs propelled them to a 3-1 lead. And the Gremlins, of course, trying to scratch their way back. And Bolin and Cleary will have to get on the same page.
Again, you don't want any mistakes right now. You need good communication between those two.
So good to see some of the legends of the game all around the ballpark today. Guys, of course, Toronto Gators Legends team, the Durham Bulls, the defending Legends champions.
12 Legends teams here this year.
That pitch is lifted up, but a beat on it out there is Aaron Trude, and again with that good speed, tracks it down for the second out.
Good defensive replacement there.
Well, Trude made that long run look like a short run. He has such long strides and got such a good jump. So Ladislav Malarchuk steps in now. Of course, a strikeout victim twice. Did reach base on an error in his first strikeout, as Bolin could not handle it. Made his way down and was left stranded there. Big swing and a miss. So Cleary came with the rise ball out of the zone to start Malazukov. And with an 0-for-2 ball game, Cleary has clearly got Malazuk's number, at least at this point in time. And that pitch cued off the end of the bat. And Malazuk's in the hole, now 0-2. Still have to be careful here, Joe. It's these kind of hitters that have struggled early. We got to see them the third time. All of a sudden, they get something that they like, or you get careless and make a mistake. And just like that, could be a tie ball game.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what strategy Sean comes back with, Sean and Ryan Bolin. Do they come back with a couple of waste pitches here, or they just go right after him?
So the 0-2, and down he goes. So third strikeout, and that ends the inning and a little threat. One runner left aboard off a walk, but no runs pushed across. We are through 5 complete.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
So back here as we're ready for the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Ryan Bolin who looked at a called first strike, followed by Wayne Laulu and Brad Rona. The meat of the order here. They have done the damage so far in this ball game, but their first look here at Roman Godoy. 0-2 the count as Godoy came with that changeup second pitch, and Bolin not able to do much with it. Stick around, Scarborough Force, Hill United Chiefs to follow this game, the second undefeated semifinal. The winner of this, of course, advances to the undefeated game. And Godoy Put a little extra on that rise ball up in the zone, so a good waste pitch. 1-2 the count.
Got a lot of pepper on that pitch. He come in pretty hard with that shot. Wish we had a radar gun going.
And Godoy swing and a miss from Bolin. So Godoy gets the job done, sitting down Ryan Bolin, and now it'll be Wayne Laulu. Laulu, of course, lined out in the second and was on base for Brad Rona's home run in the fourth.
And that's usually the way they go in the order. Laulu, they set in that power spot, but then Brad Rona, just in case Laulu gets walked, Brad Rona's there to protect him.
So 1 strike, the count here to Laulu. And funny, because we expected him to drive it out of the park before we did Rona, and it was Brad Rona that was the one who went deep, as Laulu looks at another strike, so he's in the hole 0-2. And Laulu fouls that one out of play. So the count will remain 0-2. And this is where a young Roman Godoy can't get too careless. You're up in the count here. Hard to get the third strike on Laulu unless it's a good pitch, and it is a good pitch. So down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Godoy. And that will bring up big bad Brad Rona. And Rona, of course, caught looking in the second, but it was that 2-run monster shot in the fourth that has given these Toronto Gators a 3-1 lead.
Roman Godoy's faced 8 batters, 4 strikeouts so far to this point.
And he starts Rona off with a ball up and out of the zone. And Godoy missing down. So being very careful here with Rona. Before it was a good-sized crowd, Joe, and now it's packed. We're not counting the people out in center field either. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So Godoy battles back into the count now. It's 2-1. That ball, a bouncer. Godoy flip over to first in time. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for Roman Godoy. Gets the meat of the order, sets them down 1-2-3, no hits, no runs, and nobody left aboard. We're going to mosey on down to the bottom of the 6th. Back here in a moment.
The law firm of Fireman Steinmetz Dea built its reputation on getting fair compensation for victims of serious personal injury or catastrophic claims. With a combined 90 years of experience and a fierce dedication to achieving results, fireman lawyers have recovered millions of dollars every year for our clients. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, a slip and fall, or as a result of any other act of negligence, when we represent you, we're committed to getting the results you deserve. With the lawyers at Fireman Steinmetz Dea, you are not alone. Contact us through firemanlawyers.com for a free consultation. No legal fees are billed until you receive your settlement. We thank Jack Fireman for his generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Blair Ezekiel, followed by Matt Palazzo and Rafael Flores. The scheduled 3 for the Gremlins, trailing by 2 runs here. And running out of time, Joe.
Exactly. They've got to get some offense going here. They're down a couple, so at least peck away. At least pick up 1 here. Makes it a lot easier on that 7th inning.
What they need is a base runner right now, unless Ezekiel can take 1 deep, and that will go a long way to helping the club. We'll see here. He is had a sac fly and hit by a pitch, so not really registering on the old scorecard, but he has been a factor here to this point, and that ball's chopped foul.
Only 3 batters have reached first base since the second inning here in this game, so give full credit to the defense behind Sean Cleary and the strikeout ability and the catching ability of Ryan Boland.
So Cleary set now, the 1-0 pitch to Blair Ezekiel. And he comes in tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big matchup right here. And Cleary again with a rise ball. Ezekiel does not chase it. So I believe the official count is 3-1. So Cleary trying to battle back in the count here. And goes the other way with it, drifting foul down the right field line.
Again, Cleary still working that inside portion of the plate. Not letting up on that.
You'd be lucky to get a seat for this ball game, Joe.
I think I'll go up on the roof.
That might be the only place available. Always good to see a good crowd on hand, especially when you're talking about some of the best teams in the world in action here.
And this is Thursday, 2 days away from our championship game.
3-1's driven out deep, going back and making a turn, and that ball goes off the fence. Good job to get it back in quickly, did Thomas Inoka, but got turned around on the play, not able to make the grab. And Ezekiel with a leadoff double, just what they ordered if you are one of the New York Gremlins.
Jose Hernandez going in to run at second base for Blair Ezekiel.
So a little more speed on the base paths, knowing the importance of that single run here. Trailing 3-1 with Matt Palazzo, the scheduled hitter. So something doing as Blair Ezekiel comes through with a leadoff double.
Good clutch plate appearance by Blair Ezekiel.
I think that because that ball was hit so well, it was tailing actually back on, away from Thomas Inoka. And he turned the wrong way initially. Made a good recovery to play it off the fence. But, of course, not in time to do anything about the stand-up double from Ezekiel.
Flags in center field are just completely, what's the word?
Limp?
Limp, that's the nice word. Nothing, no wind assisted there.
No, or they actually might be melted to the foul pole, to the poles. You don't know, Joe.
Yeah.
It's been hot out there today, I tell you. So Palazzo now has some work to do. He is 0 for 2 with his strikeout. And that ball gets away, and the runner scoots down to third. So just a bit of a bobble from Ryan Boland. And the speed on the bases. Obviously, a wise decision made by Varm Matosian and company. And now the runner's at third with nobody out. And Palazzo at the plate with a 1-ball, no-strike count. And that ball lifted up and drifting foul into one of the adjacent diamonds.
And you knew Gremlins weren't just going to fold up and go away. They're going to be fighting right for every little piece of that field right now. They're down a couple of runs. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Gators winning 3-1.
So Cleary back to work now. And the 1-1's bounce off the screen, but a very generous bounce and carom off the backstop. And runner would have been DOA had he gone.
Yeah.
And that is for sure. So a wise decision from Jose Hernandez to remain at third base and not squander that.
Well, still no one out, so you obviously don't want to take any chances. On a pass ball, you could score many ways from third base.
And you saw he had a notion for sure, as he should, because you should be on the move at third anyway with the pitch. But to put on the brakes was a very smart call. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. And Cleary working the outside corner to even the count now 2-2. If you've tuned in looking for our 8 o'clock game, it will follow this one here. We've got a good one going between the Gators and the Gremlins. The Force and Hill United set to do battle after this. And Cleary misses. Good scoop by Bolin.
He's giving Ryan Bolin a good workout this inning.
He has. Bolin up to the task, though. If that gets away and scoots up the third base line even a little bit, that will allow Speedy Hernandez to come in to score. Trim the deficit. It's 3-1 right now. And a swing and a miss. Good pitch from Cleary. Goes to the outside part of the plate. Second time he struck out Palazzo. And that will bring up the catcher, Rafael Flores, with 1 away here and a runner on third. And Joe, you got to figure it's a must-cash situation here for the Gremlins.
Exactly, yeah. They can't strand that runner. He's been at third base right off the hop. Got on base by way of a double and moved over to third base on a wild pitch. So
not sure what the discussion will be. It obviously has to do with what ball is going to be put into play. Either that or, yeah, and that is what it appears, Joe.
Terry Bader has called time, making a trip out to the mound to get his troop together to make sure they're all on the same page of what they're doing. Rafael Flores now the batter. Rafael swings very hard at that plate and going to be a good contact. He's going to put the ball in play in most cases. He's a very tough out. Does not strike out very often.
So Flores, of course, a dangerous hitter, able to take it out of the yard at any point in time.
Gator infield at normal depth.
And Flores a healthy cut, and that's a major league pop-up that lands just to our right, out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Second strikeout victim of the inning. Flores swinging and missing. There are 2 away now for Zenon Winters, and that runner still standing at third base.
12 strikeouts in the books now for Sean Cleary.
Winters 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. So someone needs a big hit here. And chasing a rise ball up in the zone. No balls, 1 strike. I expect Winters to get a steady diet of those. He has been known to chase that rise ball.
Got him exactly on that back in the 4th inning on those rise balls. So
and that ball lifted out deep, going back, but tracking it out there. Thomas Inoka making the grab, and Sean Cleary dodging a bullet after a leadoff double that turned into a triple. Struck out the side and then got Winters to fly out to deep left field. So no runs, 1 hit, and 1 runner left aboard. We are headed to the 7th, 3-1 in favor of the Gators. Back in a moment.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at mrnednyc.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Varn Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Thank you, Mr. Paul Hurd and Corbett Source for Sports, as we are in the top of the 7th inning. It'll be Shane Boland, followed by Thomas Inoka and Thomas Macchia or Aaron True, depending on the re-entry. Shane Boland 0 for 2. As he squares the bunt, and that's in there for a called strike. Boland doesn't agree, thinks that pitch was low. Either way, back in the batter's box in the hole, 0-1. And Godoy brought that one over the inner part of the plate for a strike, 0-2 the count. And Godoy's done a fabulous job in relief of Andrew Kirkpatrick. He has come in and pretty much given up nothing to these Toronto Gators as he goes up in the zone to waste one. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
Jose Hernandez is now playing second base for the New York Gremlins.
And that's a chopper bobbled and missed by Nick Mullins. You don't see that too often, as he obviously picked the head up before he had the ball in his glove. So I know Joe's going to score that in E6.
Exactly.
And Boland will be on first base for Thomas Inoka. And I think the last thing you need if you're the Gremlins is to allow another run.
Yes, runs have been at a premium this game, so whenever you can pick one up, it will certainly be an insurance policy for the Toronto Gators.
So Thomas Inoka now steps in. He's had some work out there in left field. And square, snap throw down, almost get Boland. But he's back just in time. Good throw from Flores. Squaring and missing, ball pops out of Flores' glove, so Boland will take a healthy turn around second, go no further, but a runner in scoring position now for the Gators courtesy that pass ball. And now Thomas Sanoka hit away from some insurance.
Again, just we talked about the little things like that, that wild pitch, that pass ball. That runner now sitting in scoring position. No one out.
So Cleary's going to Godoy is going to take his time now, and Flores is going to come on out and have a wee bit of a conference with the youngster. Got to make sure he doesn't get rattled here.
Do you think Anoka and the Gators would play a little small ball here and advance that run over to third?
Well, I think you have to know the importance of that run, and in my opinion, it's a very important run. If they can get that, that'll go a long way to getting probably a good half inning from Sean Cleary. And squaring and missing is Anoka. So he's in the count now, 1-2. Going to have to do it the fun way and move that runner along at the very least. And a swing and a miss. Good pitch from Godoy. He had Thomas Sanoka waving at a pitch way out of the zone. And with one out, in will step. Looks like Thomas Macchia.
Re-entered the game for Aaron Trude.
Has re-entered. So I guess they're going with a little bit more power. I think Aaron Trude certainly capable of getting the job done, but the coaching staff has decided they're going to go with Thomas Macchia, I guess, for potential power reasons. So we'll see how Godoy fares here against Thomas Macchia. And absolute grounder fielded easily over there by Matt Palazzo. Steps on the bag, does it himself for the second out. So 3 unassisted. And that will bring up Ty Sebastian. 0 for 2. He's struck out in the third, grounded out in the fifth. So the runner at third base as Bolin moved up on the play on that ground ball. And Godoy missing up to Sebastian.
Shane Bolin going to get a good jump on every pitch here. That's a big run over third base.
And Godoy in there for a strike to even the count at 1-1. Big situation here for Godoy. Can't allow this run to cross the plate. And the changeup, Sebastian fouls that back.
Well, we were wondering when we were going to see that pitch, and now finally gets called upon with 2 out in the 7th inning and a runner in scoring position at third base.
You got to figure the fewer times he's used it, that means that he hasn't needed, so that means that he's in good shape. And since he's come in, he's mowed the Gators down.
Imagine he'll be trying to jam him on the hands again.
And going outside. So not a bad 1-2 pitch. Runs the count even to 2-2. And Godoy gassed it up. Strike 3 called. So Ty Sebastian, strikeout victim. And despite getting a runner to third base with less than 2 out, not able to cash. We are headed 3 outs to get for the Gators. Down to their last 3 are the Gremlins. Back here for the bottom of the 7th.
Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
Welcome back here as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. It's going to be the last chance for the New York Gremlins, trailing by 2 runs. And I think the key here, Joe, is going to be a base runner, and that's the most important thing.
Exactly. Their Gators are looking to try and get someone on base just to start that whole inning out.
So it looks like defensively, Dustin Houts has come into the ball game. And it looks like he'll be out patrolling right field. So it will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters and Jeff Goulagon to lead things off here. And of course he came in a couple innings ago and certainly has the power, one swing of the bat, to close the gap here. But he's got to face a very good, very composed Sean Cleary, who has gotten the job done when he's needed to and gotten himself out of a couple of situations that could have cost him a run or two.
This first out is so important in the 7th inning for both teams.
Check and see. Goulagon didn't go around. So 2 balls and no strikes to count here. And Cleary coming up and in. So he's in the hole 3-0. And certainly not the start you wanted if you're Sean Cleary.
Hey, you want to know what gives coaches gray hairs and ulcers? Right here.
I guess that's your other profession, Joseph. That pitch in there for a called strike, so Goulagon need not make his way down to first base quite yet.
Let the umpire make the call.
Well, he's just trying to sell it a little bit and help it along.
He's not a good salesman.
No, doesn't appear that way. So these Gremlins, of course, squandered an opportunity last inning. A leadoff double from Blair Ezekiel went for naught as Goulagon, big hack, swing and a miss. So Cleary back in the count now, it's full. And just like that, a chance here to get the leadoff guy after falling behind.
Again, does he rely on his rise ball? That's his big pitch tonight.
Goulagon has chased it. And he comes back inside corner. Goulagon knew it. Turned the K the other way. Cleary getting the job done here as there'll be one down for Brian Avery. I've got a count of 13 strikeouts for Sean Cleary at this point. I don't have the best record in math, so you feel free to double check that, but you got to be able to get to 13, Joe.
I'll talk to your principal.
Too late, man. Too late. Okay.
Can stay after 4 tomorrow.
That's it. You and my principal. So Abry now, 1 ball, no strikes that count. 1 away, 3-1 to score in favor of the Toronto Gators. Last chance here for the Gremlins. And Cleary comes with a rise ball. Abry not biting at all. And the count now 2-0. If you've tuned in, expecting to see the Scarborough Force and the Hill United Chiefs, as soon as we wrap this one up here, they will be on the diamond following this one. And Cleary with some real problems on the landing. And fortunately, it doesn't look like he hurt himself at all, but less than impressed with what has turned out in front of that circle. And it looks like the umpire is going to go out there and check that, and we may need some work done. We may need to call the grounds crew in, Joe, and do a little work.
Again, there's some red clay bricks a couple layers down, and sometimes those bricks break down. Sean Cleary now doing some ground maintenance out there. Sean has given the okay to the umpire and to the management staff of Toronto Gators that he is willing to complete the game with the pitching mound as is.
Well, you're good, Joe, because you could read lips. I didn't get all that from that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I got you.
It's my X-ray vision.
All right. That's right. We spoke about your X-ray vision earlier this week. So Abry looks at a called strike. Cleary trying to get back in the count now, 3-1. Fell behind Jeff Goulagon as well. Battled back to get the strikeout there. Has a little bit more work to do here against Abry. And that pitch missing out. So a walk issued to Brian Abry. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate in. Nick Mullins. Looks like there will be a pinch hitter, and it looks like it'll be Andrew Kirkpatrick that initially has gone, and we'll see what that is the case. So Kirkpatrick in to hit for Nick Mullins. That's an interesting change there, Joe. When you take a position player, take him out of the lineup, and you put your big 6'5" starter out there to bat in his place.
Well, Andrew was set into the order as the pitcher, starting pitcher, but also the default, and the default can go back into the offensive order at any time throughout the game. Andrew Kirkpatrick has set up his reputation as a good clutch hitter. So he's coming off the bench now to help his teammates.
Well, he can help any way possible, preferably at the very least, advancing this runner. But they need two, and there's one away. So Cleary now to face his counterpart, something that you don't often see happen with the elite guys when they meet up. There's usually a hitter on the bench to use, but Kirkpatrick a very good hitter as well as a pitcher, as Cleary starts him off inside at the knees for strike one. And the rise ball. Kirkpatrick doesn't chase, so the count now 1-1.
This is Kirkpatrick's first plate appearance, too, in the tournament.
Interesting time. But the coaching staff may know something we don't, and that's why he's in the batter's box as time is called. So clearly taking his time here. And that pitch in there for a strike. So Kirkpatrick's down in the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 away, a runner aboard. Kirkpatrick representing the tying run, trailing 3-1. Bottom of the 7th inning. And a good hack, fouled straight back. So the count will remain 1-2.
Well, you could cut the tension out there with a butter knife right now.
Well, Joe, you're on the edge of your seat for sure, as are quite a few of the people in this packed house. And a nibble outside corner, didn't get the call. A good 1-2 pitch though. And the count now 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from Cleary. And a swing and a miss. Down goes Kirkpatrick for the second out. And the Gremlins now are down to their final out in Matthew Waugh.
Big strikeout there by Sean Cleary.
Of course, Matthew Waugh 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third, and flied out in the fifth. So a runner on first base, tying run at the plate in Waugh. 2 out, bottom of the 7th, 3-1 ball game. And put a little extra juice on that, did Cleary. Didn't get the call he wanted. And it's 1 ball, no strikes, the count.
Well, he's got the inside pitch all night. He's not going to get the outside as well.
So back to work here is Cleary, trying to get the final out of the ball game here and send the Gators to the undefeated game tomorrow, 7 o'clock local time, and that pitch over the corner for a strike. That'll run the count even at 1-1. Thank you for joining us, of course, here on the ISC Network. We're glad to bring you this ball game. And that pitch bounced in, almost got away from Bolin, but he tracked it down, kept it in front of him. And no chance for the runner to advance in the play. So Brian Avery over at first. And Waugh still representing the tying run with the count 2 balls, 1 strike. And Cleary blows that over the outside corner for a strike. So the count now 2-2.
Matthew Waugh really has to Respect that outside corner of that plate now with 2 strikes.
He's also got to take that bat off his shoulder here, because you can bet Cleary's going to throw him probably something around the strike zone. The 2-2 from Cleary bounced in. Runner and Raby's going to scamper down and slide safely into second base. And the count now will be full 3-2. So Waugh did a good job taking that pitch. Sometimes guys get a little anxious.
Good patience of the plate, good plate discipline.
So now the infield's going to come in around Cleary just to make sure they're on the same page here. Trying to close the door here on the Gremlins and send them to the back door while they walk in the front.
The whole infield now is aware of what pitch is coming and what location, so they're going to be prepared defensively too.
X-ray vision works pretty good, Joe.
You wait till I get my Batman cape on.
Oh, man. Scared of you, my friend. So something has to give here. 3-2 the count, 2 away, and a 2-run ball game. And Cleary outside corner, strike 3. Matty Waugh caught watching the paint dry, and that will do it. The Toronto Gators with a 3-1 win. They will advance to the undefeated game tomorrow night and take on the winner of the Scarborough Force and the Hill United Chiefs. Joe, some final thoughts on Sean Cleary's pitching performance?
Oh, fantastic pitching performance. 14 strikeouts. Couple of walks there and a 1-hit batsman. So, but great shutout innings after that tough first inning that the Toronto Gators put on the board. Big blast back in the 4th inning. Back-to-back, sorry, not back-to-back home runs, but home run by Ryan Bolin and a 2-run shot by Brad Rona.
So the Gators used a long ball to advance a 3-1 win over the Gremlins. They will drop down, remain in the winner's bracket. They will play at 4 p.m. against the loser of the next game. Stick around, another good one when we come back here on the ISC Network.